Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Rule 10, which is the traffic separation schemes. Starts with the first paragraph. A. This rule applies to traffic separation schemes adopted by the organization and does not relieve any vessels of her obligation under other rule. So the TSS must be adopted by the International Maritime Organization, and all the other rules still apply. B. A vessel using a traffic separation scheme shall proceed in an appropriate traffic lane in the general direction of traffic flow for that lane. Let's watch at a couple of examples.
So we can see now these two vessels are following the traffic separation scheme. They're in the appropriate lane, following the general direction of flow as indicated by the arrows. So far as practicable, keep clear of a traffic separation line or separation zone. Separation lines and zones are the magenta areas on the chart. Clearly the bit between the lanes is the separation zone, and the bits at the edges are the separation lines.
B. Second paragraph. So far as practicable, keep clear of a traffic separation scheme or separation zone. Normally join or leave a traffic lane at termination of the lane, but when joining or leaving from either side shall do so at a small an angle to the general direction of traffic flow as practicable.
So the blue vessel is coming out to leave at as small an angle as is safe and practicable. She's going to a port along the side of the traffic separation scheme, and the green vessel has left at the termination of the lane.
Paragraph C. A vessel shall, so far as practicable, avoid crossing traffic lanes, but if obliged to do so, shall cross in heading as near as practicable at right angles to the general direction of traffic flow. Let's watch another example.
So now the red vessel wants to cross the traffic lanes. They've got to maintain a heading at right angles to the direction of flow in each of the lanes. They've got to get straight across as quick as they can. But what happens if there's a tide or a wind blowing the vessel sideways? Well, they've still got to maintain that heading at right angles. Yes, they're going to be swept sideways and their ground track is not going to be at right angles, but their heading must be. You can see that the track over the ground that they've followed is actually quite a long one, but they've maintained their right angle heading. The reason for this is you need to maintain aspect and get across the lane as quickly.
The first paragraph. A vessel shall not use an ensured traffic zone when she can safely use the appropriate traffic lane within the adjacent traffic separation scheme. However, vessels of less than 20 meters in length, sailing vessels and vessels engaged in fishing may use the ensured traffic zone. Second paragraph. Notwithstanding subparagraph D, first paragraph, a vessel may use an ensured traffic zone when en route to or from a port, offshore installation of structure, pilot station, or any other place situated within the ensured traffic zone, or to avoid immediate danger. Paragraph E. A vessel other than a crossing vessel or a vessel joining or leaving a lane shall not normally enter a separation zone or cross a separation line except in case of emergency to avoid immediate danger, to engage in fishing without a separation zone. So this goes back to the first paragraph where it says vessels need to normally keep clear of separation lines and separation zones. F. A vessel navigating in areas near the terminations of traffic separation schemes shall do so with particular caution. Let's watch at a couple of examples.
And of course here we're talking about the area where the green vessel is heading. Vessels are coming in and out of the traffic separation scheme. It's going to be busy. You need to navigate with particular caution.
G. A vessel shall, so far as practicable, avoid anchoring in a traffic separation scheme or in areas near its termination. Again, this makes sense. Don't anchor in that area. There's a traffic separation scheme there because it's a busy area. A vessel not using a traffic separation scheme shall avoid it by as wide a margin as is practicable. Again, makes sense if you are not using it, just stay well. A vessel engaged in fishing shall not impede the passage of any vessel following a traffic lane. Now remember back to Rule 9, where the fishing vessel have to keep out of everybody's way. It is the same in a traffic separation scheme. If a vessel is following a traffic lane, a vessel engaged in fishing is not meant to impede you. G. A vessel of less than 20 meters in length or a sailing vessel shall not impede the safe passage of a power-driven vessel following a traffic lane. So these two, there's less people that they are not meant to impede, but they are still meant to not impede the passage of power-driven vessels following the traffic lane. K. A vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver when engaged in an operation for the maintenance of safety of navigation in a traffic separation scheme is exempted from complying with these rules to the extent necessary to carry out the operation. L. A vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver when engaged in an operation for the laying, servicing, or picking up of a submarine cable within a traffic separation scheme is exempted from complying with this rule to the extent necessary to carry out the operation. So let's watch at a couple of examples.
So in this scene we've got the red vessel wanting to cross the traffic lanes. We know she's got to do so on a heading as nearly as practicable at right angles to the general direction of traffic flow. She's got herself in that position already. The passenger vessel is following the northeast lane and the blue bulk carrier is following the southwest lane. Now, the first situation, of course, the passenger vessel has to come round and give way. It's still a crossing situation, even though it's a traffic separation scheme. The fact that it's a traffic separation scheme just determines where the vessels are and the angle that the red one has to cross at. Once she gets into this second situation, of course, the red one becomes the give way vessel, and she has to come round for the other vessel. She's still trying to cross at right angles, but the crossing situation rule still applies.
That brings us to the end of Rule 10.